Hello, I'm Al, your English guru. In this video, I'll teach you useful vocabulary and some useful phrasal verbs, but more importantly, I'll touch upon a super important lesson for your learning journey. No matter what you're trying to learn, understanding how to remember every new word, phrase, piece of grammar, or anything else is the key to successful learning. And this will be the most important lesson for today. So, how can you learn anything you want to learn effectively? Instead of telling you, I'm going to show you how you can do it in a few seconds, and then you can apply it to this lesson and anything else you want to remember forever. So let's get started. If you were born in the 60s, probably you remember that TVs had a knob which you used to turn on and off this TV. So the phrasal verb turn on comes from those times when you had to turn the knob of the TV to the right so it could start working. That's the real history behind the phrasal verb turn on. Turn the knob of the TV to have it on, that is, to make it work, to turn it on. Later, when you were tired of watching TV, before the era of the remote control, you had to stand up and grab that TV knob and turn it off. This means that you turned the knob to the left to have it off, to make the TV stop working. This is the amazing real story of the phrasal verb turn off. If you were paying attention, in my explanation of the phrasal verbs turn on and turn off, I also used another phrasal verb, stand up. Stand means to maintain something in a specific position, and when you say stand up, it means that you maintain an upwards position. So stand up means to maintain or keep yourself up, or simply to get up. So, in order for you to remember these phrasal verbs, turn off, turn on, and stand up, you can imagine that you're on the sofa and that you stand up to go to the TV, and then you see the TV knob and turn it to the right to turn the TV on. And then when you're bored, you stand up again to get to the TV and turn the knob to the left to make it stop working, to turn it off. Now that I think about it, I have another meaning for the phrasal verb stand up. Actually, you probably suffered this in the past, when you had a date or meeting with somebody but this person never arrived, and you just kept waiting, standing up all alone. So, when you're going to meet somebody and this person never arrives, then this person stands you up, and you stay there, standing up all alone. So remember, when you don't go to a date or a meeting that you agreed with somebody, then you stand somebody up. Never do this. It feels terrible. Actually, my girlfriend stood me up on our first date, and it felt terrible. So never stand anyone up. Now that we're talking about the phrasal verb stand up, we can talk about stand-up comedy, which is not a phrasal verb, but it's a very useful phrase in real-world English. Stand-up comedy is a type of comedy where a comedian, like Chris Rock, stands up in front of an audience to make jokes. So the comedian is standing up or maintaining himself in an upwards position and telling jokes. That is stand-up comedy, which is related to the phrasal verb stand up. This brings me to another phrasal verb, which is related to stand-up comedy. When comedians tell jokes and talk in front of a big audience, they have to speak loudly. When you ask somebody to speak loudly, they raise their voice, and the volume of their voice goes up. So when they raise their voice and the volume of their voice goes up, they speak up. So the phrasal verb speak up means to talk loudly and clearly, to raise the volume of your voice so that people can hear you loudly and clearly. And this brings me to the last phrase I will teach you today, which is related to the phrasal verb speak up. Good comedians aren't afraid to say what they think, they even insult their audience to make them laugh. When people say what they think, whatever is in their mind, then they speak their minds. So that's the meaning of the phrase speak your mind. Speak your mind means that you speak or say whatever you have in your mind, whatever you think, no matter if it's good or bad. So when you speak your mind, you say whatever you think, not hiding anything. And it's very probable that if you speak your mind, then you speak up, because when you say the truth about what you think, then you say it loudly and clearly. As you can see, in order to teach you these phrasal verbs, I used real history, telling you the real place from where the phrasal verbs turn on and turn off came, but I also invented stories and relationships. I used a story of a guy standing up from the sofa to turn the TV on and off. And I also related the phrasal verb stand up to comedy to stand-up comedy, which then I used to tell you how these people that tell jokes and make people laugh have to speak loudly and clearly, speak up, and have to say whatever they have in their minds. They have to speak their minds to entertain their audiences. I also related the phrasal verb stand up to the ugly situation that happens when you have a date or meeting but the other person never arrives. They stand you up. If you use this technique, if you look for the history of the words, phrases, or anything that you want to learn, then this will help you a lot to remember what you want to learn. And if you can't find this history quickly, then you can invent a story in your mind to relate and give meaning to every piece of vocabulary, grammar, or anything else you want to learn, and it's entertaining and very hard to forget. I am totally sure that it'll be very difficult for you to forget the phrases and their different meanings that we learned today, like stand up, turn on, turn off, speak your mind, and stand-up comedy. Please give this technique a try and don't forget to subscribe and comment below. Thank you very much.